So welcome to OUTcreating the Matrix Module 6. We're actually on the verge of halfway through, although I know, but it's like really, like, has it been halfway? Like, it seems like it's already been the whole way already, and like I don't know. It's amazing that the time distortions have been quite dramatic for me. I got an email from another member saying how dramatic time distortions were for her, and that's something that we want to address at some point in time. But I'd like to actually start today by just kind of being authentic with the energies. My life has been very interesting at the moment. Rosie is on her way to a vet to have a chicken put to sleep. That just is not getting better. And manipulation felt this day to be the day for that to occur. It's fascinating to watch. The more you do this, the fascinating you watch. But like what I noticed is that I am all out of sorts, and and I normally do this clearing routine before I get on the call to get to a space of clarity. But I wanted to show you what that looks like, what my process looks like, because there's a lot of times where I think you all get the impression that I have it all together, and that's not always the case. And I want to show you like kind of what I do to get it together. And when I don't have it together, I just fake it and go on anyway, and ultimately get stuff together. So
Yay.
There are many times I start this call going, ah! and then it just works out. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but whatever. And you can feel all that stuff, and that's why I wanted to bring it out, because I know you perceive that, but you don't always know, like, what is that stuff? It can't be Jaden because he's got his shit together. Interesting point of view. You have that point of view. So when I'm going for me, like, so where I'm at right now, the first thing I want to do is I want to check how many people I am corded to. So I'm going to grab my energetic center, and I'm going to pull that out in front of me, and I'm going to look at all the connections. Now I'm going to highlight, so I wish to see all the ones that are people from this call, okay, and what are not people from this call. Okay, so I have this thing down here, and I have this thing up here. I'm going to clear that, and I'm going to strip out all the non-ones from this call. Actually, let me show you what it feels like when I strip out all the ones from this call. I'm going to strip out all of them. Just notice what you notice as I do this. So I'm going to strip out all the connections I have. I'm going to reconnect them to their infinite being, strip out all the connections, infinite being, strip out all the connections, infinite being, and then I'm going to put my core back inside of me. Sometimes I'll just, if the core is too messy, I'll just kind of throw it out and let it resolve itself outside of my body. So that's one of my processes.
What do you mean with core?
Core center.
Okay, you take it out. You take it out.
I just take my energy. I take one of the things that I learned a long time ago is that my energy body, like I would take out my energy body and I would do clearing chords. It's kind of the old-fashioned way of looking at it. And what I noticed was there were times where I could clear the chords, and when I put the energy body back into my body, it still felt kind of icky. So I would just kind of leave it and walk away from it. And what I found is that what's essence can't be destroyed and uncreated. What's not essence is still left standing there going, where did he go? He was here a second ago. Where did he go? And that gives me space. So that can be something you can play with. And then, okay, so who does all this stuff belong to? What are all the energies that I've picked up that I'm claiming and owning as mine that don't belong to me? I just trying to create all that, make null, void, good, bad, or pop, beyond, vaporize, 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 vaporize. And who, what, where, when, why am I being? Me? Someone else? Something else? Wow, like I don't even want to look at that something else. So I'm going to look at it. And everything, all that is, I choose to destroy and create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, or beyond. Now notice what that did to my energy. It just popped up a layer. And then truth, who am I being? Truth, what am I being? Truth, where am I being? Truth, when am I being? Truth, why am I being? So there's all these stories around why. I can feel them in there, like why it just kind of jumps out, but not mine. Everything, all that is I choose to just try and create vaporize, make null void, give info, yes? And now there's more of a buoyancy in my field. And I feel like if I wasn't on a call and I had 37 people listening to me, I would keep going and do a little bit more. But like I feel like, yeah, I'm functional now. I still feel shaky. I still feel kind of, but I know that I can function, so I just go forward. So I don't normally voice any of that, but I wanted to show you, like, that's me, that's my process, that's what I do. The illusion that I portray week after week that I just have it all together is, it's true at a certain point. So some of it is like, so where I'd go now is I'm just going to step into owning that that I've got it together. And that is going to take me the rest of the way.
Huh.
So cool. Fake it till you make it, that kind of thing.
And
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Jaden, by doing that, can you actually shift things? And
it does.
Okay.
It does
Faking it
for
till
me.
you make it.
Well,
okay.
It's like there's a threshold that I can't. But there's something that happens when I'm doing this thing that I do with you that is some essence thing that comes forward that if I just allow it to do that, everything writes itself and goes where it needs to go. Mm-hmm. So I've just over time learned, and that's one of the reasons that I encourage everybody to, and we haven't gotten into this conversation yet because there's so much backstory first, but like to find what is your thing. And chances are it probably looks kind of similar to what my thing is. Chances are there's some form of facilitating, or you wouldn't be an addict to this stuff like we are. I use addict playfully, mind you. But it's like, what is your thing? And when you can find your thing, and you already have a clue of what it is, though you may not know how to monetize it, or you may not know what it looks like, or like I knew that my thing was presenting and doing classes and stuff like that. I didn't know what I was going to present, or like but I knew when I started working with people and I started doing this facilitating, wow, like I just got into some essence of me that isn't naturally available to me. So I learned the more I do this, the more I snap into me and I stay there longer. So the more, it's like practice. It's like using a muscle. The more I show up and be me, the more I be me 24/7, or more 24/7 than I had been before. And that just keeps increasing the more I practice this. So it's like, what is that this for you is a question that we're going to look at further down the road, because always be kind of looking at like what do I have fun with? What is my play? What do I like have this just hankering to engage in? Yeah, that's where we want to go with that. So I started in a weird place, but that's kind of authentic. So there you go. So welcome to OUTcreating the Matrix, call number 3. 3, call number 6. Shows you. And so what I'd like to do is I'd actually like to start with a meditation. Actually, it's not a meditation. I don't know what it is. I'm going to start with something. This thing that I'm going to do with you now. George Kavaslis talked about in the book, and this is kind of the main topic of today, is kind of is looking at some of the things that George's book has brought up for people, and see where we want to take that, or what we want to do with that, and whatever else comes up along the way. He talked about this notion of when you enter the universe, there's these layers, these processes you go through, and there's a part of you that stays at the universal level, and then you project yourself down into the galaxy, and then you leave a piece of you there. He calls it a seed. And then you project yourself down into the solar system. And you leave a piece of you, a seed of you, it's like the connection to the next layer up. It's like your key to go, your door that takes you to the previous layer that you've been, that you're always connected to, but it's kind of like dormant or quiet or sitting in the background or whatever. He calls it a seed. And then from the solar system level, you go into the earth seed. And when I played with earth seed, I was like, wow. So allow yourself to feel your earth seed, whatever that is. It's your projection into the consciousness of this planet, and allow yourself to connect to something that vibrates at the frequency of earth seed. And allow yourself to perceive everything. Wow, okay. What is everything that's in the way of you having an easy awareness and simple connection, simple conscious connection with your earth seed, your inalienable earth seed? Whoa. And everything that all of that stuff is, can we choose to just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose this.
Yeah. Rescind, evoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond. And allow yourself to perceive all of the energies that are up on the call, that are just there. What are all the things that are there that are not you, that are not light, that are not play, that are not fun, that are not ease? Notice that they're like in this group, and I started it on a heavy note, but I wanted to, I don't need to justify it. That's what I did. So allow yourself to perceive all the energies that brought in or brought up or connected people to across all time, space, dimensions, realities, beyonds, and everything all that is. Can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes.
Yeah. Rescind, evoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyonds. One of the things I noticed for me is that what's different about me now than a couple years ago is there's a willingness now to go into any energy. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it feels like. I don't care what the story is. I don't care. I am willing to feel that. I'm willing to perceive that information. I'm willing to start asking questions about it. I'm willing to clear what's required to be cleared. I am willing to do what it takes, and I'm willing to look at all energies, and I'm willing to be all energies. And that's not something I was willing to be a couple of years ago. And that seems to be I don't want to say a necessity, but seems to be a part of the process. And George would say that that's part of the untangling, or finding the counterbalance to the polarity, or untangling the polarity that's trapped in the system. So there's something up here. Does somebody have a sense of what this is?
Hi.
Hi.
For me, I just perceive a lot of resistance. Even before the class, I was feeling not to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And I forced myself to come in, and then I'm still feeling it, and it's really, really heavy. So
yeah.
Maybe that.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I have a fucked up day in some capacity. So I also don't feel like let's say on maximum positivity scale, so to speak. So it has been one of those days, like intense processing and whatever, everything at once. So
yeah. Thank you.
And also, the George book brought some stuff up too.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got shit too. Yeah.
That's you, huh?
Yeah. Yes. I had it out with my son, and it's like, fuck, I was ready to take him down. And there was a part of me that was watching this energy like just take me over.
Yeah.
And I'd walk away and I'd come back. And it's like energetically I was just going at them. And it's like I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't me. Well, not all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I ended up apologizing later, but and that seemed to abate it a bit, but there is still something there.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's
yeah,
I'm quite aware of manipulation with everything. It's everywhere. It's
yeah.
And that's a good thing, I guess, but yeah.
I guess.
Well, to be more aware, but
well, right, the awareness part, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Wow.
Jaden?
Yes.
Jaden?
Yes.
I have really noticed like people reacting to me differently, like aggressively in some capacity. Like I feel like some stuff is like shifting in lots of whatever community, or maybe it has been there, and it's also confusing. Like I don't feel good in some places I used to be, and now suddenly it's like really I feel like the energy is dead, so to speak, stagnant, or like people are feeling that I'm checking out, so to speak, from some kind of layer of consensual reality. So this kind of seems to create resistance, or maybe it's me, I don't know, but it's weird. So
yeah. So that one, like I'm just kind of looking to take in the energies, but I want to make a comment on that, because when you find that those resistance points, it's like how can I use this to my simple advantage with simple ease? Because you know that to your advantage is to other people's advantage as well. Like there's some piece in there, whether you like it or not. There's some piece in there for most of us that we resist it sometimes, but it's like we really want the best for everybody on some level, or mostly everybody, right? What is that? I don't know, but it's like there's a part of me that just trusts that. Yeah, I'm getting into something different. I don't want to go there. Where was I trying to say? How can all of this be a contribution? Let me get to the core of it. How can all of that be a contribution to everybody, including you? That's the question that I ask when I find those resistances come up. How can that be a contribution, or how can I use this to my simple advantage with simple ease? Like whichever one is lighter there for me, that will flip that out of the story, because it takes it to a whole other level. It's like I'm no longer in the polarity of something, like them resisting me being in this frequency or whatever. It's now, well, how can all of this be a contribution? It's like, whoa, okay, different game, different story, different energy, different frequency. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Who else has something that they want to share?
Jaden, it's Moana.
Hi, Moana.
Hey, I was getting aliens and frequencies. I was really having a lot of difficulty this morning tapping into my own unique frequency, and for me the energy feels like there's aliens, and connecting to fractures. Those are the three things that are coming up for me. Yeah.
Thank you. And I noticed I had awareness as I'm getting clearer about fractures and what's going on. I had a huge fracture. Significance. Thank you. I had a fracture come in. This huge fracture. It was like so big, you wouldn't believe how big it was. I had this fracture come in, and it was. What I noticed is it had a life of its own, which it had its own identity, and it had its own universe. And as I started to open up that universe, it had an entire civilization of aliens living in there. Like a whole race. It was like a whole planet of aliens inside this container that was this fracture, this altar of me. I was like, whoa, okay. The story keeps getting bigger the more I explore with that, and it keeps taking me to other places. I still resolved it in the same way that I did. It's like, okay, you guys got to go somewhere else. You got to go in somebody else's universe now. Goodbye.
Ouch! That's what you do.
What's that?
I'm picking it up. It's coming to me.
All right.
Oh, Sheila, I'll take it.
Sheila will take it. If in doubt, yeah, all aliens go to Sheila. She loves you so much. I cancel that. You don't need to do any of that. Cancel.
Make null and void. Make
null and void. So let's as you were talking about aliens, that really lit up for me. So allow yourself to perceive all of the entities, all of the demons, all of the creatures, and all of the aliens that are here. Ooh. Expand out, perceive more. Freeze, tie down, tie up. 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 Freeze all, tie down all, tie up all. Freeze all, freeze all, freeze all. And expand out, perceive more, including all the Shikyu aliens. And freeze, tie down, tie up. 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 And expand out, perceive all of them. Wow. Freeze, tie down, tie up. 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 And everything that you said that you would do for these beings and everything these beings said that they would do for you, can we choose to just try and create all that? Yes.
Choose that.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, schutzpahs, nice, beyonds. And will you now release your attachment to all of these aliens, creatures, demons, and other beings?
Yes, I choose that.
I heard about 5 people.
Yes. Big time. Yes.
Fine, that's okay. I don't want to force you. You want to keep them? That's quite okay.
I choose it.
So, the Prime Creator, remove all of these beings from all of our universes. Do this now. Vaporize. Big null void. Good, bad, right, wrong. Pop, actions, by beyonds. And, yep, just let all that go. Wow. And allow yourself to perceive all of the entities. There's a lot of energy moving. All the entities remaining, all of the creatures remaining, all of the demons remaining, and all of the aliens and Shikyu aliens remaining. Freeze, tie down, tie up. 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 Freeze all freeze, all tie down, all tie up, all freeze. Wow. And everything that you said you would do for all these beings and everything all these beings said they would do for any of you, can we just try and create it all?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce. Just trying to create, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, short, spoils, and nines, beyonds. And the Prime Creator, remove these beings from all of our universes permanently. Do this now. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, and beyonds. Vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, and beyonds. Let all that go. Yeah, let all that go. So I'll often do that twice, and then I'll look again. And if I still find aliens hanging around, then I usually go to the alien clearing, and I still feel them hanging around. But allow yourself to perceive all of the any entities remaining. Some people have some, and there's some agreements there that, yeah. What are all the demons remaining? Some of those are balancing things. All the creatures remaining? Yeah. And what are all the aliens and Shikyu aliens remaining? Freeze, tie down, tie up. Freeze, tie down, tie up. Freeze, tie down, tie up. And actually do that in your own space. Freeze. Tell these aliens freeze. Tie down, tie up.
Tie up.
Freeze, tie down, tie up.
Tie down, tie up.
Tie up.
So I do that freezing simply because they'll squirm, they'll sneak away, and then you can't get them. But I found that in other modalities, that is actually part of the process. Binding is part of the process, and I'm like, okay, so there's something there. Interesting. I just did it because squirm away and I couldn't clear them. But there might be something to the whole binding thing. Just my interesting exploration at the moment. By the way, this is all, if you haven't gotten this is all still exploration for me. This is only a couple months old. This whole process with the aliens is only a couple months old. So maybe a month or two before you guys came online. So this is all kind of new play for all of us, actually. So what are these beings? What can we do with these beings? Wow. What motivates these beings? Wow. I had this feeling of power. What are these beings' weaknesses? And what are these being strengths? If I'm feeling like not really strong about grabbing these guys, I won't actually ask that question because it doesn't always. But if I'm feeling strong enough, I'll ask, what are these being strengths? Because as an infinite being, I'd want to know, what are their strengths? What are they good at? I'm not going to challenge them on what they're good at, but what's the point? I want to look at what they're not good at, right? But I do want to know what they're good at. Okay. How can I use everything these beings know to my simple advantage? Receive?
Yep.
Wow. And I notice commonly that has a certain frequency about it. That's kind of a narrow bandwidth. I don't know. But they seem to have sometimes they're in different frequency ranges, but I'm just noticing what I noticed. How can I use all the connections these beings have with me to my advantage? Receive? Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to manipulate, dominate, and control these beings with simple ease to my simple advantage?
Yep.
And receive that. Wow. What energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to use all these beings to my simple advantage? I just said that one. What energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to harvest all these beings' energy sources with simple ease?
Jaden, is somebody outside? Because it sounds like wind blowing across somebody's microphone. It's making the noise.
Be my fan. Let's try reorganize. How's that? Because I don't hear anything, so it must be me. Or maybe not.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
You. Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
So, and what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to permanently dominate and slave these beings with simple ease? Receive? And notice the volume of information there. Anybody else notice that? Like there's like the last couple had, this one's like whoosh. Anybody else noticing that, or is it just my?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's light.
Yeah. So that tells me, that's one of my ways of knowing what is the game these beings are playing. Like they're not playing a harvesting. They're not interested in that. They're into domination and control. Like that's the game. That's the game they're interested in playing. So when I ask that question, like the more I do this, I could actually just now, not all the time, but sometimes just tune into the beings and start right away asking the questions. I'll know if they're harvesting beings, if they're dominating, controlling beings. I found a new category. I don't remember what it is offhand, but like you just start to get a sense of these different beings in the games that they play, and you just start to learn it.
They're into kinkiness, eh?
Yes.
Somebody's got to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they have like ranks? like a chief in command or something like that, because it feels
feel
like
that.
those ones, like the bosses.
Yeah. Now, most of the domination control stuff is definitely ranks, hierarchies. Yeah.
Cool.
So, what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to put these beings in the race under my control and in service to my agenda with simple ease? Wow. That has a little energy to it. Wow. Now, I noticed the aliens that I now you notice this thing I do with my hand. When I do freeze, tie down, tie up, I've learned from playing in the past with demons and stuff that I can just grab their ass. I can just energetically hold on to them. So I'll do my other stuff with the one hand. I've gotten in the habit of doing that with aliens too. It's like, you are not squirming out of this. I'm clearing you now. And so I'll grab them when I'm doing freeze, tie down, tie up. I'll grab them, and I can feel them kind of still like there's a struggle going on. When we did that last thing, that struggle just kind of went shh. Like something in that asking that question about having that race under my control and in service to my agenda, they kind of passed out. They're like, oh, this is too much. What energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to manipulate my hosted aliens so I can dominate and control them and their civilizations with simple ease and receive? Now notice what the energy's doing there. Feel a shift?
Yeah.
Yes.
My back pain is gone.
And what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to turn all these aliens into a large field of pretty flowers with simple ease?
Yeah.
Okay. And so everything that you said that you would do for any of these beings and all of the reciprocal agreements that you have with those races or their civilizations and all that they have with you, can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
Choose that.
Yes. Receptacle we can't reclaim, renounce, destroy and create, vaporize, vaporize, good, bad, right, wrong, beyond. And it's not dead. I can feel that they just moved as I cleared the agreements, but they're like almost unconscious, or that's how I perceive it. I don't know what's actually going on. That's just what I perceive. That's the story I tell myself at this moment. That may change tomorrow. And so the prime creator. So everywhere that you're holding on to these beings. No. What do I want to ask you guys? Will you now release these beings and have them removed from your universe?
Yes.
Yes, I choose that.
Yes. So the prime creator, remove all these beings from all of our universes. Do this now. Make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, beyond, vaporize, good, bad, right, wrong, beyond. And what is all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that? Expand out, perceive more. And expand out and perceive all of it.
Ooh.
Wow. Ooh, hi there. So everything that all that is, can we choose to destroy and create all that really interesting stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Assemble, key, count, reclaim, renounce, destroy and create, vaporize. Make null void, good, bad, right, wrong, beyond. Now, you can notice it in me. Now, do you notice a difference in me? I'm more playful. Yeah. I'm more animated. The alien stuff was like, and I wasn't seeing it, or I wasn't doing anything about it. And so it was, now I can claim and own that energy as mine, but it actually had nothing to do with me. I had aliens in my space manipulating my energies. As soon as I cleared those, I just kind of bounced back to me again. Like that's the core thing. Like if I could get like one thing through, it's like who you be is buoyant and light and playful and easy. So when you notice you're not being that, you just have other shit around that's not you. What if it's that simple? What if it's that straight up?
Jaden?
Yes.
Yeah. I have also noticed that like I'm going like into very positive states, and then like I wake up and I'm yeah, let's say fucked up or like completely clogged, like overnight I have like whatever, I wake up and I start anew, so to speak. I have to clear stuff and like or I feel stuff around my heart, like I just felt like contracting me, so that I don't feel the energy. Or, I just, my body signals were scrambled, and I wonder, how does it get any better? So I'm clearing it and continuing.
So sometimes, like, what I do with that is before I go to bed, I'll say, okay, so it's like you start to notice, okay, here's a pattern. I'm going to bed, I'm fine when I go to bed, and I wake up and I'm in all kinds of stupid shit. Okay, so before I go to bed, I start to engage. I'll lay there in bed and go like, okay, so I just start playing with things. So I connect to my inalienable spirit, my inalienable soul. I start asking questions. How can I sleep the whole night long and not be interfered with? How can I sleep the whole night long and be protected or guarded? Or like, I just kept exploring with different paradigms, and I'm still in that space of exploring. And some of it has shifted automatically, and other stuff comes and goes. And I have not yet asked the right questions to do the things necessary. Like some of the questions, some of my play is around, so is there, the consciousness of Earth, of the planet, is there something that you can do to support me and my body while I sleep so that I'm not interfered with? Is it an interference of me and my body while I sleep, or am I bringing stuff through? Like, how much am I bringing stuff through? How much are my dreams being manipulated? I've come to a lot of awareness around dream manipulation, like an immense amount of awareness around how much dreams are staged. Has anybody seen the movie Inside Out? That would be a no.
No, I want to see it, actually.
Okay. So I saw the movie a week ago or so. It is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Totally brilliant. And it opened up my world in, I have more space around emotions and the dance with my body as a result of watching that movie. That's just me. Your mileage may vary, but it's brilliant. They actually, it's more of an educational film it's edutainment, my interesting point of view. They're actually showing this dance of what goes on inside the mind and inside the emotions. And it's like, wow, the stuff they're just putting out there for everybody is like, wow. I was just blown away. And for some reason that came up related to what you were saying. I ran off into my thing. But so all the shiki, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around, all of this stuff so far can be destroyed, and then create all of this, please.
Yes.
I choose it.
I choose that. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce. Just trying to create, vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen. Yeah.
Jaden?
Yeah.
It's Svetlana. Can we remove all of the synthetic systems implanted into our bodies, like the endocrine or anything that's been overlaid in the reproductive area as well?
She's like, let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's go. Enough of this fluffy stuff. Let's get to work. So what are all the so how many people have listened to that part where George talks about all the synthetic systems that have been installed, or talks about his perception of the synthetic systems?
Is it the chakra stuff or later?
It's pretty much around chakra stuff. It talks about chakra, pineal systems.
Yes.
Although, frankly, I've only re-listened up to chapter 27, I think I'm at. So I don't know what's before, what's after that.
Yes.
So allow yourself to perceive all of the overlaid systems that have been intertwined and hardwired into your biology. What are all the systems posing to be biological systems that are actually alien systems or non-biological implants? Wow. What are all the systems, structures, and constructs that have been retasked or repurposed to serve a different function, i.e. manipulation, rather than the function they were originally intended to? Wow. What are all the systems, technologies, magics that have been overlaid, intertwined, DNA manipulated, energetically overlaid, or inserted in any way that bind your system to a control frequency or a control process or a control pattern in any way, shape, or form across all time, no time, space, no space, timelines, realms, realities, fractures, alters, parallels, dimensions, domains? Wow. And what are all the manipulations that were done to the planet's body in any of those categories? Across all time, no time, space, no space, dimensions, realities, parallels, domains, realities, fractures, alters. Wow. And everything that all of that stuff is, can we choose to destroy and create all those manipulations?
Yes, I choose that.
Choose that.
Yes, rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxford, beyond, vaporize.
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 Jaden?
Yes.
There's, when you're saying this, first of all, it kind of went to my head a little bit, but I could feel the energy. But now I feel heaviness in the heart.
Cool. So, what is all that? So what is
alien manipulation still?
Yeah. So what is everything that you're not willing to be aware of? Wow. That's one or two things. It's not much. It's not really a big deal. Really, it's not. Don't panic. So everything that all that stuff is, and all this stupidity, unconscious, anti-consciousness, energy fog around it, can we destroy and create all that?
Yes.
Yes.
Rescind the book, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxford, beyond, it's vaporize.
Jaden, it's Svetlana again. It was just coming up for me to share. Since we started this program, the last 2 months during my cycle, it's like my insides are getting ripped out almost. And I know it's synthetic. I had that awareness. And there's something that I can see. I just don't have a name to it yet. And it feels like it's been unnamed so far. Do you have an awareness around that?
Yeah. George actually talks about that later.
Okay.
Towards the end of the book. I'm not getting it through him. I'm just referencing that.
Yeah.
So where I went right away is with the planet.
Yeah.
So how much of what you're experiencing is yours, and how much of that is your awareness of stuff that's happening on a larger scale?
All of it's on a larger scale. Yeah.
So one of the things I keep finding as I work with women specifically around that topic is it's somehow bound to or connected to a larger manipulated cycle of life that's on a planetary level. Or what if it's connected to a manipulated cycle of life on a planetary level? And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around that, can we just try and create it all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize.
At the risk of sounding crazy right now, I just wanted to share something that happened last month to me. It kind of came to my awareness that it was like that alien manipulation was trying to make me believe that I was birthing for them.
Yeah. So how often and
that's what the pain of my cycle was that I was actually like birthing for them. I didn't buy into it and all of that, but there's still been pain.
Yeah. So how often have you, and this is not just for the women, I'm sorry, guys, ask this question too. How often have you been pregnant for aliens or for the control system in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, and I saw seeds as well, like seed aliens.
Mm-hmm. 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 So anybody else have stuff around that?
Actually, I had my cycle going on for like over 2 months, and finally it's like, okay, so yeah, I mean, I've had that same thing going on, but I wasn't aware of all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that this is up, I've had that too. Just a week ago, I had so much pain that I thought, fuck, it feels like I'm in labor.
Yes, that's exactly what's been happening to me too. Like I've never been physically in labor in this lifetime, but I would assume that's what it felt like.
So when you said that you've never been physically in labor in this lifetime, did that feel light to you or did that feel heavy to you?
That was I being.
I'm sorry?
Can you re-ask me the question? I almost forgot I said it.
So all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around this, can we just try and create it all?
Absolutely.
Yes. Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, papakshitanapians. So, Truth, have you been in labor this lifetime or something else?
I got this lifetime.
Yeah.
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 Yep, Seth. Yep.
Jeez.
So
what the?
So
me too.
Me too. Right. So, but I'm aware of the pregnancies that I've had as a male body. I'm aware of the pregnancies that I've had. Now, it's a little too weird to get into at the moment. And part of it is I don't have even a handle on it enough to even put words to it yet. At some point, we could potentially go there. But it's like, what I noticed that's different about me that I see as compared to everybody else is I don't really attach to this story about the male body or the viewpoint that I've had this lifetime of what's been real or true for me. Like that is just one timeline or just one thread of the truth of my reality. And what I'm looking at is that what I'm doing is opening to the other threads of truth that have all been interwoven. So like if I look at it as there are spaces in my life that are blank. When I looked back at my life, there's like life, not much of anything, life. Okay, somebody's got 2 systems on. We're getting an echo. So if you have a computer and a phone or computer and an iPhone or 2 devices, can you mute yourself? Because we're getting it through. So testing 1, 2. That's better. It's still there, but it's better. So what I noticed is that, oh, come on, bring that back. What was I talking about?
The threads and
thank you. That there are spaces earlier in my life that like there wasn't a lot going on. It's almost like when I look back at it, it was like stuff, not much of anything. Stuff, not much of anything. Stuff, not much of anything. And as I look at it now, it's like how much was all of that happening in that space, but I was only aware of some pieces of that journey. Like as I go further, I'm becoming aware of other frequencies that were occurring, other like in that sine wave, it's like, so there was a part of me that was up and maybe there was a part of me that was down, or maybe there was a part of me that was at a certain angle or a certain frequency band. And there's the other frequency bands that were happening there too. And I was only aware of one frequency layer or one plane of existence. But as I become more of my infinite being, I start noticing those places that were spaces in my life did actually have something in there, or something has gotten overlaid later. Like the new me, as I come into more of the new me, I can feel, okay, I need to put it in a different context. When I used to play with the context of being a walk-in. Like this story of the previous life, the previous occupants of this body was there. And I could feel that information. It didn't feel really solid to me, but like really terribly true to me, but I could feel it and I could honor it as it was part of the cycle of this body or whatever. I didn't have the context. But when Jaden came in, when the most recent aspect of me came in, whether it was a big fracture that came in or whatever the paradigm, I don't know. But when that, and everywhere I don't know, I'm just trying to create all that good, bad, option, maybe. So when that other piece came in, what I could watch is that aspect of me seemed like it thread itself through my past. Like I could watch Jaden surface in the past of this body's experience as if it has always been there. Like, yeah, that says it. So all the shiki, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog, and all the fixed points of view that you have about your story and your truth and what is real for you as a man, as a woman, as a person growing up in this city, as a person who had these parents, as a person who is in this country, all of those fixed points of view and all of those stories that you have that is totally real and true for you, can we just choose to destroy and create all that just to play and have fun?
Yes.
Yes.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop actions back down. Because I noticed the less, I'll come right to you, the less I attach to those stories, the more awareness I get. It's almost like the story of me when I was 18 years old or 16 to 18, and this is what occurred in my life, and I know this is my truth. Like as I let go of that, all of a sudden there was all kinds of other shit that I became aware of that seemed in resistance or in like it couldn't be true. Like, no, I know this is my truth. This is what's real. Well, then what is this stuff? So if I allowed all of that information just to hang out and be in that time period of my life, I noticed that it actually plugged itself together and it started to explain things that didn't make sense. It's like, oh, that's what that was. Okay. Now, again, I'm just playing in stories, but as I release my attachment to the old stories that I had and allow myself to be more flexible with that, more awareness comes in about other layers of things that were potentially going on. How much of that is real? I have no clue, but it explains things. It plugs in and answers things that have always been questions that I could never resolve. So
what can I be or do different to operate as an organic being and I don't know what the right words are, but I guess release this that are running in my body?
Release the what?
Synthetic systems that are running in my body, because I'm aware of them. I just haven't gotten to the awareness of how to separate myself or run organically.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you're going one way and I'm kind of pulling in another direction.
Okay, if it doesn't apply, that's okay.
No, it totally applies, and that's an awesome place to poke around, but there's something else that takes you there more quickly, it feels like. And it's where I was going with this whole thing I'm saying for the last 5 minutes, is what if you were to focus on being your infinite being instead of your biological being? Because there's biology and non-biology. There's the synthetic and the biological, and it's a duality. Okay, so you can untangle the dualities by clearing the points of view you have on, by inviting yourself to stand in the other duality more if you're too much in the synthetic duality. But the truth is, it's all there. But it feels to me like there's a resistance to awareness that would allow a bigger picture to be there. Feel that?
Mm-hmm.
So what if you would not be biology, and what if you would not be synthetic? What if you would be your infinite being that is beyond biology and beyond synthetic and includes all of that? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Feel that?
Yeah.
That's that opening. That's like, whoa, okay. It's opening to, like, there's sometimes you can't resolve the paradigm from the level that you're at. So you go bigger in your infinite being and just start asking questions outside of that. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, okay. Now you can start to see other things that can shift that paradigm. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Is there a question that I can ask when the pain kicks in to get me to the place that you just took me? Like, is there a bridge?
What keeps coming up is, if I wasn't feeling this, what awareness would I be having?
Okay.
That's my favorite one for sensation in the body. And the invitation with that tool, I've not explained it in this course, so I want to explain that one. My perception of it is, when you ask, if I wasn't feeling this, what awareness would I be having? Like, what if that's just information? Like, we untangle a lot of this and we find, okay, this is the Earth, this is information from some other planet. It's like, if you're owning that as yours, you can't resolve it because it's not yours. So you can, like, there's no way out of the trap if you're claiming and owning it as yours. And so what if that's your body taking that information? Wow, okay, that's shifting something. Yeah. What if that's your body taking that information and making it concrete, like amplifying it? And what if, when you ask, if I wasn't feeling this, what awareness would I be having? You're inviting yourself out of the need for sensation and into the realm of awareness, where all the information is accessible comfortably, where downshifted into the body, certain frequencies are definitely not comfortable until they are. So
I'm going to have to re-listen to this because you just like smashed the trap, and yeah. I'm just like celebrating. I'm like, woohoo.
Yeah,
no little worries. Party over
no
here,
worries.
So.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around, all of this, for everybody, can we choose to destroy and create all that?
Yes.
I choose that.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, make, null, void, vaporize, 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 good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond. Michael?
Oh, yes. Not sure. Maybe this is relevant. I was like telling myself the story about not having children and whatever. If I want some, and then I got like impressions that I have some, so I asked questions. And yeah, I asked my body, and I always got that yes. I have like some offspring, so I wondered how this could be. Stuff like this.
So when it, like, do you notice like that doesn't kind of plug in? Like it doesn't like. So what if that is something that doesn't plug into the story of your current reality? Like, what if that's what that feeling is? Like, okay, that information. Yeah. So what that is an invitation to, okay, so how can I drop my story, and how can I look at it, or like not even drop my story, how can I look at this from a viewpoint that it does fit in? Like how does that plug in? Was it on this planet? Was it on another planet? Is it another alter, fracture? Is it another parallel? Like start asking, like, what, instead of like, what can make that true? How can I expand my awareness that would allow that to be true and perceive all the information that's associated with it? Right, 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 right. There you go. Yeah. Because what a lot of people do is they'll be like, well, that can't be true. And so now it's duality bouncing up against each other. And I'm like, well, I'm an infinite being. So infinite is pretty infinite. Okay. Yeah. So rather than trying to bash those two, which is the game of duality, one of these has to be the winner. It can't be both. One of these has to be the winner. Well, I know as an infinite being, from some perspective, everything is true. So what perspective would make this piece true? That doesn't seem to fit. And I look for perspectives that would allow this to be true, and then I keep expanding into that reality to perceive how that connects to the bigger picture of who I be. Did that make any sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. So all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that, can we choose to destroy and create it all?
Yes, I choose this.
Yeah. Reset and evoke, you can't reclaim, announce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, right down. So the thing that I love about George's book is when you can start to see the magnitude and the scope of manipulation that's occurring, it's like you can't you start to open up and start to look at, like, wow, what else, what have I not been getting? Like, what else is really going on that's beyond all of this? And it goes back to that infinite being viewpoint. I'm not grabbing.
Jaden, I don't know if I could actually put this into words, but it's this. I just kind of got this download, and how much of this is shit, I don't know. But when Svet started talking about her cycle, I got this image. It was almost like, I think in Star Wars, the Death Star, right? I think that big globe, except it was the moon. And it was this black gray energy, this heaviness, and it was like, holy fuck, we've been seen. And it was almost like it had gone into the moon. It was kind of like the Truman Show in a way. It was like ants, if you destroy an anthill, and the ants are just scrambling and then grabbing their babies and their seeds, and it's like the connection to the moon and the whole reproduction, and how this has been manipulated into us, how we believe it. And it was like, wow, we've been seen, or they're catching on. And yeah, so that's kind of what I saw, when I'm perceiving. And
catching on, or kind of like breaking apart and running away?
Breaking. What do you mean? I don't.
Like they're perceiving it, like you said, like an anthill, and like they're just now out for their life. They're just running. They're escaping.
Yes. Yeah. And it feels like something has just shifted. Yeah. We have just shifted something by. Yeah.
So what's interesting about that analogy or that concept and for those of you who have gotten towards the end of the book, George would say that a big part of the reason the moon is where it is, and he explains the moon and he explains how it got there and why it's there. And this is going back from memory, so you guys may have a closer connection to it than I do, for those of you who heard it, but like that the moon is actually in place deliberately to squash the feminine energy and to mess with the reproductive cycles of the planet. Has anybody else heard that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did.
Oh no. So Jaden, how can we get, like, how come, I mean, whenever I see the moon, I get so like I just want to gaze at it.
Yeah. So how much of that
is manipulation?
How much of that is manipulation and how much of that is the authentic infinite being of you?
Oh my God, it's manipulation.
Yeah.
The tides and everything, like the waves and the tides that go with the moon, even that's manipulated? Wow. I wonder.
What does it feel like to you?
Whew, it's totally possible.
Like I had an interesting experience with a very aware lady who had done an immense amount of work on her menstrual cycles. Her menstrual cycles had been off the map, off the charts for her whole life. She'd been tortured by it her whole life. And she had gotten to a space of peace around it and awareness around it, that she had this clarity of this story, and this is just a story or point of view, that the menstrual cycle was intended to be an experience of high excitation and revelation and expansion and resetting, and nothing at all about pain, just about like this high space of everything coming back to source and resyncing up with itself again. Like all of the feminine biological systems resyncing up with source and resetting themselves to their highest potential every 30 to every 28 days, or however many, even the number of days has been manipulated, but like on some cycle.
That's so light. That is so light.
Yeah. Yeah. And you look at how that has been manipulated 180 degrees. And I have explored a lot with this paradigm, and I will say this is my truth at the moment. What if you explore everything that's wrong and you flip it around 180 degrees? What if that's the way it's intended to be? What if everything that's a wrong, Dane would say, what if everything that's a wrongness of you is actually a strongness of you? Mm-hmm. And Jaden would say, what if everything that's a wrongness of you is evidence that there's manipulation in there and has you distorted in some way? And how can we remove that distortion so you can naturally find the natural expression of whatever that is? And it's usually exactly 180 degrees flipped around, because we're in this duality thing. And it's easy to flip something polar, but it's harder to manipulate it minutely and calibrate it in a fine way. But it's easy to just polar kind of whack it over to the other side. That's easy. So that's what I've noticed. That's my interesting point of view. I'm not claiming any of that to be true. That's just where I'm playing in at the moment.
I love that.
So all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around any and all of the stuff that we've opened up so far, all of it, expand out, perceive more. All the energy fog, expand out, perceive more, and expand out, perceive all of it. And everything that all of that is, can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes, I choose
that. Yeah, resent, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, option, beyond. Questions?
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you've just gone where you've just gone, because I heard this question already. So I had an opportunity to talk about an awareness I had with Ananda, and so I was talking about an ex-partner who is the son of a very influential family in this country. In a secret way, they're influential, and we had the awareness that I had babies for them, and because they are the kind of influential that they are secretively, which is massive, I had a kind of ambivalence about having babies for them, and yet when asking questions, what, is there anything wrong with all of that? Then it turned out that the babies had chosen to be not to be with me, to be born through me or whatever, and to do that thing. But that I'm completely out of the loop, and I would have loved to have had children. Well, I think I would have. Well, that's interesting.
Notice there's all that kind of stuff in there. But so it's like, so the first thing that I want to make a point about is you want to clear, or I recommend you clear the significance that you have about that family.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned as I untangle people, that the only reason you were allowed to participate with that family, notice the words I'm using, is because your bloodline or what you brought to the table is actually more significant than what that family has.
Oh, I get that. I do get that. But what I have a difficulty with is the kind of influence that this family has. That the kind of things that they're doing, that they're involved in, that bothers me in terms of
are those interesting points of view?
Yes.
No.
No. You mean that's an awareness, or
no? What I'm saying is you have a charge on them, so they're not just an interesting point of view.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. So you want to get to a space where those things are just like, oh, it's interesting. They do that. Because everything that you have a point of view on, you're being reverse manipulated through that.
Yes.
Every point of view you have is a place where something or someone can use that as a wedge point to affect you. Like, so what I do is when aliens come and they start fucking with me, if they don't do it all at once, which is, I'm giving away secrets, so we're going to stop doing that. So they used to do it like, a couple of them would come and they'd find some point and they'd start prying at it. And I'd become aware of that, and then I would clear my points of view at it, and they'd go flying because I just cleared their pry point. And then they'd come back later and they'd look for something else, and they'd start prying at that, and I'd clear that point. Wow. I don't give it. I have no attachment to any fucking point of view that I have. Anything. My life, my story, what I think is real or true, what I have nothing to defend. You want to go kill the seals, go kill the seals. If you want to go drill oil, go drill oil. I don't care. I really don't care. I have no point of view on that. And when I find a point of view that I have, I clear that too.
Wow.
Sounds
so easy.
Well, it is. On the big scale, it is. On the little scale, it's like,
yeah.
But it's a commitment. It's a practice. How do I say it? I so get that my life is so much better just because I have cleared so many points of view in areas that I used to be so fucked with. It's just created space.
Oh yeah, I can totally get that.
Like, things just can't fuck with me on those levels. They have to go find something else, and I'm going to clear that too. Like once you see the power that you have by clearing your points of view, you see the infiniteness and the infinite potency of who you be, because other beings can't clear their fucking point of view. They can't. The aliens, they can't clear their point of view. They're embedded in them so deeply. They're not infinite enough. They're stuck. Yes.
So where do we get the I want to blow chunks of this stuff on my points of view off, not just little pieces of just like it always seems to be, I'm working and I'm doing and I'm clearing and I'm blah, 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 blah.
So let me make that simple. What are you choosing? I made a commitment to choosing every fucking point of view I had. I remember Gary Douglas saying once that, what if you did interesting point of view, I have that point of view, interesting point of view, they have that point of view, to every point of view you have for 6 months, you would be totally free. And my first reaction was, you're full of shit. My second reaction was, well, I'm going to try that. And then as I started to do that, I realized it created an immense amount of space. And I made a commitment to choosing that. I choose that. Is it a lot of work? It used to be. Now it's automatic because it's embedded in my system. When I find the stuff, I just clear it. It's an interesting point of view. So what if you could choose that as a priority for your life? How would your life be different if you chose that?
It'd be immensely different.
So don't choose that, whatever you do.
Well, it's not that. I do choose that, and I clear, and I clear, and I clear, and I clear, and I clear. But on some topics around, it's like, it's just like, where? There's got to be something there that's going to just blow it all out instead of just round and round and around.
Yeah. So for me, all of this was this prioritization, this dance of prioritization. Like, okay, I can let go of this, but this I can't let go of. This is too important. Okay? Like,
well, even though the ones you want to let go of, I really want to let go of this, and
yeah. So what is that?
Like,
so
I don't know.
When you're choosing it, do you just let it go?
No. Oh, what do you mean when I choose to? Oh.
When you truly choose to let something go, when you're like, fuck it, I'm letting that go. I don't care. Like when you make a complete commitment to letting something go, do you let it go? It may not be instantaneous, but do you let it go?
For the most part, but there's a couple of things that just won't.
Okay, so that for the most part, recognize that when you choose it, it shifts and changes. Can you stand in that?
Yes.
Reluctantly. But when you choose it, so what I notice for me is when I really choose something, there are some things that I can choose so solidly and clearly that they instantaneously drop away right here in that immediate second, and it's gone. And there are some things that I'm interwoven into, and I can't release that instantaneously, but I can choose it solidly. And every time it comes up, I remind myself, no, I've chosen to let that go. No, I've chosen to let that go. I've chosen to let that go. I've chosen to let that go. I'm not going back and revisiting the challenge of like, no, should I let this go? No, I chose to let that go. Yeah, but we haven't looked at this side. I chose to let that go. Yeah, but manipulation says you're not looking at this other part. I chose to let that go. I don't care what that other stuff is. I chose to let that go. I'm not revisiting it again. I chose to let that go. I made 100% commitment to letting that go. Everything wants to keep retangling you and re-engaging you in duality.
Yeah. Sure.
And making this a priority and making this important and making this, but no, you haven't considered this. I have considered that, or I don't care to consider that. I'm to the point now where I don't care. Back then I would have a conversation. Well, I'd look at it. Well, no, I haven't really considered that. And yes, that might be valuable. And yes, your point of view has a lot of weight behind it. And I'm denying all of the places that I have looked before and come to the same conclusion over and over again. That is not valuable for me to hold on to. And that being keeps trying to re-engage me in that story again. No.
Can you shoot him?
Well, you're the one who needs to be shot.
Shot. Please do it.
Because, you're holding on to it again, or and this is where I'll come back to all the stacks, stringers, hooks, and triggers and implants, because how much is mechanically rebinding you? So that's why I like the manipulation point of view. It's like there's that other race coming back in and going, no, you don't understand. This is important. You have to listen to us. All of the hooks, triggers, implants, stringers, and stacks. I destroy and create all of that. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, vaporize, gone.
Vaporize.
Like, I'm done listening to the stories. There's one story, and that's mine. And that's, I'm out of this bullshit. I am no longer going to engage any of these fucking stories, period. They're all manipulation. They're all somebody else's interesting point of view. I'm an infinite being. I can perceive all of this shit. I get your story. Out. I've already got you included. Out.
So what happens when Michelle and I did some fantastic clearing last night. We just went to places that, we just like, oh my God. So, nice. It was just awesome. And then we hung up, and then it was like, all of a sudden it was like, we get into a lot of covert secret stuff. And I still think that somewhere along the line, I'm hiding this shit from myself. I'm hiding whatever it is.
Well, you are. So what? Welcome to the planet. Everybody is.
Well, then how do I stop doing that? Or how do I get out of the... I mean, I'm into...
You're into making you wrong.
Well, that's true, too.
So, I
was born that way, I think. I don't know.
How much of George's... well, you were born into that.
I don't get the chapter...
How much of George's book have you listened to?
Chapter 8, up to chapter 8.
Okay. Get to chapter 27 or 28 and then talk to me about that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Serious. Because when you get the magnitude of what's going on, it's really hard to blame you anymore.
Yeah, it just seems like I'm right on the brink here. I'm doing all this stuff, and it feels like fantastic, and I feel like I get so much space, and everything's good, and then the next second it's like, that wasn't real, or what happened? How come I don't?
And all of the stacks, stringers, triggers, and hooks and implants.
Yeah, I just trying to cut all that.
No. All of those things are that. After you clear, how much does manipulation come in and try to reinstall, try to convince you to undo, try to convince you to put back, try to convince you none of that is real, so you undo everything you just did?
Well, did I do that? Did I undo it? Or is it just that I'm hiding that?
So, Truth, did you undo it, or did you do something else?
I get that I did something else, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. So ask questions around that.
Okay. Did you get that, or do you is that just bullshit, or is that just another manipulation? Did I really undo it?
I got that you're in the process of being convinced to undo it. That you've partially...
Well, fuck that. I choose not to do that. God damn it.
All of the stacks?
Stacks, stringers. Yes.
Implants?
Destroy them all.
Hooks?
Done. Gone.
Triggers.
Vaporize.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen to the book up to chapter 27, 28.
I will.
It undoes a lot of things that just...
Should I just jump to 26 and 27, or should I just start listening? I like to listen to the beginning, but you know what I mean? So.
Start listening.
What's that?
Well, I have been. all day I've been listening to it. So.
Yeah. No, just
I'll just keep listening.
Just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Yeah. Okay. There is a track there on the book. I think it's number 9. He talks about free will.
Mm-hmm.
When we got into the 4th dimension, where all the beings and we are playing here all together, he says that there is no free will, and then we choose to come into this dimension. We make this plan, blah blah blah, and then we choose to live this life. Mm-hmm. But there is a contradiction there, and I've been tangled there, and my head has been fucked me up. If this is the case,
Yeah.
So everything I'm gonna choose, or anything I'm choosing now, has already decided by myself in some other levels.
Now, do you notice that feels heavy to you?
Yeah. But
so what does that mean?
It's heavy and light at the same time.
Right. So what does that mean?
Weird. In some places, it's true.
Yeah, and in some places,
it's light. Yeah, it's
in some places, it's not true.
Yeah.
So notice that every being in the universe has a perspective, and the beings that worked with George have this perspective on the solidity of free will. They are not coming from a space of infinite being. I'm hoping by the end of the course I can get you to the space where you see that you have a more expanded point of view than every being in this entire fucking universe.
Yes.
And what would it take? And what would it take for you to stand in that point of view every moment of every day? Because is that point of view that everything is structured to get you back out of the game? Like, okay, so wow. All the shit, you stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around that, because it's a delicious topic. Thank you for bringing that up. Everything, all the energy fog around that topic, can we just try and create it all?
Yes.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, balance. So from some perspective, there are innumerable constructs here that are designed to guide you through a process of detangling and deconstructing the duality that you have constructed thus far. Okay, so now if you haven't listened to George's stuff, this won't make a whole lot of sense. So you're going to need to go back and listen to it. I'm not going to go back and explain it. But like, you've generated all of this duality, and now you're going through the resolution of all this duality. And allow yourself to perceive all of the systems, structures, and constructs that are a natural part of the biological universe that are here to support, to guide you through a process of releasing all of that duality and coming back to your core again, coming back to your essence, coming back to your non-dual self. Allow yourself to perceive all of those systems and all of those structures. Okay, that's the stuff that George is talking about not having free will. That's one of the players. Okay, there is a system on this planet, in this universe, that is designed to allow you to come into the game, explore, play in the game, create a wild party, have a lot of fun, and then guide you into getting you back out again, because it is so fucking easy to get trapped here. So there's the creator of this universe designed a system to guide you back out again. That's the pure system as it stands, or as it stood. Then manipulation found that. And then manipulation realized that if you all graduate and leave here, it doesn't have any energy source. It doesn't have anything to overpower. It doesn't have anything to control. It doesn't have anyone to play with, and it's bored. And it doesn't like that. So it sat down and, well, how can I manipulate this game? How can I tangle it in such a way that even the universe can't untangle itself anymore? Allow yourself to perceive all of the constructs that are here, that manipulation and control inserted as a parallel or conjunction to the universal system that pretends to untangle you, but instead it retangles you. It does the opposite. Okay? And all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of those systems so far. Can we just try and create all that?
Yes.
Yes, I
Yeah.
choose that.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, so that is non-free will. That when I try to define what is non-free will in my universe, those are the constructs as I perceive them so far. I'm simplifying, but like you get a sense of that. That those are the structures that are in place, that are designed to, one is trying to set you free, and one is trying to undo that, shut that down, and lock you in more. Two different designers or two different intentions going on, parallel, intertwined, interwoven. Some of the universe or a lot of the universe stuff has been hijacked. It's been inverted. It's been flipped around. It's been fucked with in every way known to man. Okay? So all of this is going on. Then there are these infinite beings that come in and incarnate here. Why the fuck do they do that? Because they know. So how many of you were invited into this universe to help in untangling this mess?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes.
Truth, were you invited into this universe by the creator of this universe to assist in untangling this mess?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Very right.
That's right.
You could pay more.
Did the creator of this universe send out a call for help, and did you respond?
Yes.
I did.
Yep.
Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. Feel that. You responded to a call for assistance. The creator of this universe created this beautiful construct to allow people to come in and safely explore the duality of light and creation and co-creation and at all of its highest levels, and safely exit back out again. And that system, because of something that we'll talk about that may or may not be today, that didn't allow him. Manipulation.
Can't do that.
I can do that too. Manipulation. Okay, so all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that, can we choose to just try to create it all?
Yes.
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 Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, set all that go. Whoa, let all that go. Not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours, not yours. Let all that go. Let all that go.
I choose to let that go.
I let that go. Wow. Wow. And bring in a UNIVAC, a universal vacuum. Think of it like a black hole with one of those elastic pipes, like a shop vac, and just your universal shop vac. You can just vacuum up stuff all around you. All the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, and anything else you find that. Yeah, there you go. Wow. So you have those things that are non-free will, or that system, both the creator of this universe and some people, I heard the words destroyer of this universe, but the beings who are in the domination control, like they're like, no, we're playing a different game. We're going to play creator. You invited us to be creators here, and so we're going to stand up and be a creator too. So what is it that the creator of this universe chose not to pay attention to, or to deny or ignore, that caused or allowed this whole other fraction or faction to come into play, that is the domination and control, that is attempting to stand in the position of the creator of this universe? Mm-hmm. Okay, these beings are attempting to, like, they have stood up and said, yes, I will co-create. Yes, you are right. I am also a creator too. Yes, I can create as well. I will co-create with you. But they did it on the dark side. They did it in the realms and the realities that creator of this universe wasn't necessarily open to looking at or playing with. And so that got created separate. There's this like fracture. So there's these two different players, and they have their points of view about what's going on. Notice that your point of view doesn't always align with their point of view. Yes, you're in their creation. Yes, you're in their universe. Yes, there are certain rules that you have no choice but to play by because they're binding still. You haven't found a way around those particular ones yet. But like, notice that there are areas where you're like, no, that's not true for me. If you were actually in this universe at the level that this universe is playing at, you could only perceive things as this universe perceives them. But because you're an infinite being, you can perceive things beyond what this universe has the capacity to perceive.
Could you clear some shikyu right now?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
like,
what
someone's trying to come in here. Yeah.
So what is all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this?
Yes.
And expand out and perceive more? And expand out and perceive all of it. And what are all the structures, constructs, adaptations, and mutations that have been in place around any and all of the old constructs and structures that you had?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the stuff there. So everything that all that is, and everything that you said that you would do for all that stuff, and everything all that stuff said it would do for you, can we choose to just try and create all that stuff?
I choose.
Yes.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize, 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 vaporize. Make, null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond. And so allow yourself to expand out again and perceive all the structures, constructs, adaptations, and mutations, and all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of that. Including all the entities, demons, creatures, and aliens here. All aliens tie up, tie down, tie up, tie down, freeze, tie up, tie down, freeze, tie up, tie down, freeze, tie up, tie down, freeze. All freeze, all tie down, all tie up, all freeze, all freeze, all freeze, all freeze. Wow. And so everything that all of this stuff is, will you now choose to have it all completely, permanently removed from your universe?
Permanently.
I choose that.
Yes.
With simple ease. Why not?
Yes.
Yeah. Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, make, null, and void. Prime creator, remove all of this stuff from all of these universes permanently. Do this now. Good, bad, right, wrong, apakshas, nice. Make null and void, 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 make null and void. Resend, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, create, make null and void, make null and void, make null and void, make null and void, make null and void times a gadzillion, make null and void times a gadzillion. There we go. Make null and void times a gadzillion, make null and void times a gadzillion, make null and void times a gadzillion, make null and void times a gadzillion. I insert all the relevant and appropriate codes here. Activate. You have a key. Allow yourself to just know that you have the key to disable this system. Grab that key in your hand, insert it into the place where you insert that key that will disable this system. Everybody have their key inserted?
Yes.
Everybody. There's 3 keys that are not inserted. I want everybody who feels ready. You don't have to do it. Nobody has to do anything. But there are 3 people who can, who are like, oh, you're not talking to me. Yes, I'm talking to you. We need your key too. There's 1. There's 2. There's 1 more. Yeah. Oh, I don't have my key. Yep. Just find it in your hand. It's right there. And insert it. Feel that shift. Okay. Now, on the count of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the count of 0. Ready? On the count of 0.
On the count of poof.
1, 2, 3, 0. Turn your key. And there's a big red self-destruct button there. Open up the cover that's over top of that, and find that big shiny button that says "Do not press me" or everything self-destructs. And what would you like to do with that?
Smash it.
Smash it! Okay, some of you want to vaporize it, you can vaporize it too. Whatever you want to do with it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 0, 3.
0, 3.
I was being silly. And all the shaky stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, can we choose to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
I choose
Rescind,
that.
revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Destroy and create, make no void. It's a sovereign being, free will, universe, times the God's own, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, and beyond. What I did was I created a space for free will that you would have to go back and choose that you didn't use our syncing up with our group. You would have to choose to do that. That's what that manipulation was. That was a deliberate manipulation on my part. You have to choose. Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask something else about free will that is coming? You know, the question is, what would be your life be in 5 years if I choose this? Or if I choose the other thing? I always go, choose what it's like.
Okay.
Because it's going to work.
Okay.
But I don't have free will then. If I choose the heavy one, things are not going to work. So, you know, it's something there that is always bothering me.
Yeah. So how much is that manipulation fucking with you?
A lot.
Yeah. Because how much do you know that you have free will? And that varies. Like in this moment, like there are times when I used to be like, okay, there's like 0.00001% of me that knows I have free will. Now, more often than not, there's a large amount of me that knows I have free will. But like that's been owned, claimed, reclaimed as I go forward. Like the more I do this, the more I stand in my potency, the more I'm like, dude, I got free will here. I don't give a fucking shit what you guys think. You're toasted. Out. I don't care if you're the creator. Like, so I bumped into the creator of this universe early on. And the creator of this universe had this point of view. And I'm like, well, fuck, what do I do with this? Because I don't agree with the creator of this universe, but I'm in the creator of this universe's creation, and I have to play by their rules. And that kind of felt heavy to me.
Or do you?
Or do I? And I started to poke into that and realize the creator of this universe was tangled and tied down and trapped. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. What is that? And it wasn't until George came along that I got a big enough perspective I could go, fuck, that's what I saw in the beginning. The creator of this universe got tangled in the dance with manipulation, with I can't even think of the word from it now, it's erased from my mind. Domination and control. It got tangled in it. Now there are other points of view in there as well. There are points of view where the creator is not at all tangled in it. Feel that version of the universal creator. They're not at all tangled, and they're playing a higher game. Can't feel that? Okay. Allow yourself to perceive the point of view of the creator of this universe that's tangled or locked down in their own creation. Yeah, it's not a light frequency. Yeah. And allow yourself to perceive the version of the creator of this universe who has gotten hijacked or abducted by the control system. Like kidnapped by the control system. It's not a lot, but it's in there. So as you listen to George describe the nature of this universe, he's talking about light, like draws you in and impels you to create in every possibility that's available. So how much is the creator in all of those different places and perspectives? How much are you in all of those different places and perspectives? So all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, can we choose to destroy and create it all?
Yes, I choose that.
Yeah. Rescind, evoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 vaporize. And if your brain has no fucking clue what I'm talking about, don't stress over it. It's okay. My brain is even saying that. It's like, I have no clue. Because it's outside of my mind's capacity to perceive at that level. But my infinite being is like, yeah, I can perceive that.
Jaden?
Yes.
May I ask something about my favorite topic in this book so far, the chakra system? As you know, I'm a practitioner and I have done much with my chakras and like Kundalini stuff. And now just yesterday I got through those chapters 27, 28, and yeah, this confused me. So not all of it feels light yet. I wasn't even like able to go into it because it was like a bit like shut down and whatever. So I feel like the Kundalini doesn't have to be like inorganic, but it can like be made. It's like, what is your opinion? I perceive it like also like an earth energy, like life force. But this obviously did some stuff to me. Also like manipulation kicked in, like distrusting my process. So now I'm doing this. Oh man! So I just called one of my teachers. We will talk later. So running to mama, so to speak.
Yep, I've been in all that. That's why it took me a long time. The first time I listened to this book, it took me a long time to listen to this book. I kept stopping and getting stuck and stopping, and then I'd go back and I'm like, wow, okay, now why can I hear it now? Like I wasn't in a space where I could hear all of the things that he had to say. So how much has manipulation mirrored natural systems and found ways to either override, parallel, or absolutely obfuscate and block or hide or change or alter? Like there's a whole can of worms, there's a diversity of really creative things that have gone on around chakras and all your energy systems. Like to me, what it feels like now when I listen to it at the level of consciousness that I have now is George is just scratching the surface of the constructs that are in the body system. And the chakra system just happens to be a big public one. And so that's what he's addressing first. But like the layers that I can feel that are in there, like you start exploring with Chinese medicine, and they start looking at all the different energy stuff. Like there are layers and layers and layers of systems and energies. So allow yourself to perceive all of the chakra related energies and Kundalini related energies that are authentic or that you have already untangled yourself and have made authentic. Yeah. So you personally, and there's a bunch of you, Leah, there's a couple other people, I don't have their names off top, but like that you've done work, I can feel it. Like you've reclaimed. So how many of you have done work to reclaim, knowing or unknowing, to reclaim the energy system in the body?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Like you don't necessarily have an awareness of what you all did, but like this is wrong and I'm going to change this. So so all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all that, can we choose to destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Rescind, evoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create, vaporize. Good, bad, wrong, up, yes. And now allow yourself to perceive all of the elements in your body that are part of the chakra or Kundalini system that are part of a structural overlay or a manipulative overlay. Now they'll naturally have a denser frequency about them.
Oh, wow.
Like that's the nature of that frequency. It's okay. And so all the shit, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog that you have around that, and let's just say in everything that all of that is, and all of the implants, all of the Wernicke's commands, booby traps, divine agreements, golden handcuffs, billion trillion year agreements, black meta technology, structures, constructs, adaptations, and mutations that you have that bind all of those structures in place. Can we choose to destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes, I choose that.
Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, auction, beyond, set all that go.
Holy cow.
As your awareness expands, you can perceive more of the players. You step into more of your potency. You clear just huge chunks of shit in one swatch. And that continues to keep expanding. So all the shit you stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around any and all of this stuff, and all of the binds, double binds, triple binds, quadruple binds, binds beyond binds, binds beyond binds, binds beyond binds to infinitum, all the signatories, expand out and perceive all the signatories, all the rebinding systems, all the inverse binding systems, all the anti-binding systems, all the unbinding systems that are actually binding. They're so unbinding, they're binding. Isn't that cool? And all of the entry agreements, all the exit agreements. Holy shit. So everything that all that is, can we choose to destroy and create all that interesting stuff?
I choose that.
Yeah. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and create, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, auction, beyond, let all that go. Whoa. And all the auto install, auto reinstall, auto backup, auto update, systems, technologies, magics, all allegiances, alliances, loyalties, and assemblies, and all things spoken, unspoken, named, unnamed, or unnameable.
Wow.
Across all time, space, dimensions, realities, and beyond, can we destroy and create all of that stuff?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, just trying to create, vaporize, 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 make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, auction, beyond, let all that go. Wow. Let all that go. Not yours, not yours, not yours. Let's bring in a univac. It's a univac! Unimunch. It's getting close to lunchtime, so Buddy's like, munch, munch, hello, munch. I get it, Buddy. Soon. So,
Jaden?
Yep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were talking about in the last call about how you engage with like the control system to, I guess I'm having some confusion because I totally had this awareness of when I made the agreement to make sure to like repeat to the control system what I'm doing at all times.
Yes.
And so like I still find myself like going into like energetically communication, but then I still like repeat what I'm doing in my head to make sure that I'm like saying it out loud, I guess. So I'm realizing now that I'm like just informing the control system what I'm doing. So like, how can you, like, what can I do here to like kind of make that more clear to when I'm checking in, like, and when I'm not? And you had made reference in the last call about how, you know, you reconnected and you played back in like the story of I canceled the call and all of that. So like, how do I know? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying there? Like, how can I know when I'm not like engaged in the control system, but then when I need to plug back into the control system and tell them something? Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yeah. Because like what I'm finding is I still really get caught up in repeating everything to the control system.
Yeah. So once you're aware of it, that pattern is on its way out. It's just a matter of time. Like you're not going to let that stay there, are you?
No.
There is no fucking way you're going to let that stay there because you see it for what it is clearly, and it is on its way out. It is just a matter of time.
So, but you said you still have to check back in occasionally and like give them something because you. So, like, when are you aware that?
No. Sometimes I'll play with them. Sometimes I'll deliberately check in and I'll give them bullshit.
So how do you know that you're doing that? I guess is my question.
The little there's how do I put words to that? Good question. There's this. It feels like this little. I'm going to use this word because it's what's up, and I'll untangle it. It's this little demon boy in here. Okay. This is obviously mom or dad's point of view. my dad's nickname for me is Snidely, as in Snidely Whiplash from Bullwinkle and like that's the evil character with the mustache up that like Snidely. So what is that saying, right?
Wow.
Okay. So what is that saying? Evil to the core. Evil to the core. Ooh.
Somebody's been manipulated.
So it's like there's a little boy in me that's playful, and I would use the word sneaky, and I would use it's a judgment, sneaky and manipulative and devious. That kind of gets this grin on my face of like, ooh, yeah, and then I'll get this idea of, and it's a weird energy. It's a very, very strange energy. I have not yet untangled like all of the things that is or what that is, but it's a very interesting energy, and it's a deviousness that I play with inside. And I'll play with manipulation, and it makes me feel good to do it in a really weird kind of way, in a twisted kind of way. It makes me feel good.
Is it a fracture of you?
Yeah, that was my question. Mm-hmm.
I would say yes.
Yeah, is the fracture that could be manipulated by them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I still have a hard time distinguishing when I'm saying it to the control system and not. Like when I'm just communicating on my terms, or when I'm actually notifying the control system of what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. At some point, I've gotten to the point where I don't. If you find yourself repeating things in your head, and you're not intending it to be that way, that's an automated system that's doing that.
So how do I? So just my awareness of I'm doing that is enough to stop that. It's like
well, you just keep working on it. You just keep working on it. It's a convolution of things. You just keep working on it. You just keep untangling it. Yeah, like you're on it. Like when you started describing it, my first impression is there's no problem here. Why is she talking about it?
Mm.
Because like there's a sense that you have it handled. Like you're on it.
Okay.
That's what it feels like to me. I know you want instant resolution, but it's like...
Yeah, I just want to be done checking in there.
Homeplay.
I want to be done with the whole construct of it. But I guess...
It's
are
about
you ever really done with it, or do you still go there and play with it just because? Like, I guess what triggered it for me was when you said you went there and played with it. So is that when you feel them really like? Because sometimes I'm very aware of like when they're freaking out about like what are you doing? What's going on? Is that kind of when you go and play? And okay, I gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll clear. Sometimes I'll play with them.
What do you tell them?
Sometimes I'll calm them down because they're irritating me, and like I'll say, oh, like I said last time, like before the money call, I was like, oh no, I canceled the call. We're not going to do the call. Like we're just going to talk about stupid shit. We're not actually going to do any clearing call.
Okay.
Like I'll lie, or I'll tell a story that will ease their whatever because I'm just tired of listening to them. And sometimes I'll do something about it. Sometimes I'll start looking for how can I unplug them from that, which usually involves for me a fracture, resolving a fracture. But it's like there are sometimes I'm not in a place where I'm willing or interested in taking the time to do the full resolution, or I don't care in that moment, and I'll just either fuck with them, or I'll ease their concerns, or I'll just ignore them. There's no wrong way to do it.
It's like, tell them, yes, you are right.
Yeah. I'll do that too. Yeah, no, I do that a lot, actually. Thank you for saying it that way. Yeah, no, you're so right. No, I totally agree with you. And they are left scratching their head like, well, do we move to him? I think that was true. Like, they don't know. And I just pretend that that's true, even though I know that that's not true. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Have
fun with it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we are at the end of the call thing. I want to ask if there are any burning questions that are leaving people in a funky space. Not burning questions of like, oh my God, I need to answer this, or I'm not going to be able to get my nails filed next time. But like, I'm not picking on anyone in particular, but it's like, do you have ones that are like really like wrenching at you, or something that's mucking with your internal system right now?
Yeah, Jaden, it's Moana.
Hi.
This week I was taken out. I got into bed and I was alert and awake, and then I was just gone, and I woke up and was very aware that I had gone somewhere. And I want to say I was taken out by aliens, 3 days worth, in the space of maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
And so I've been asking questions about, and I had the awareness that at night is when I will often be harvested, or my energy will be harvested, or they'll access my energy, and then I've been aware that for a long time I've avoided actually going to bed at night, and I don't sleep a lot, and very rarely have dreams until we started these calls. So what came up for me just when you were speaking before was about entry agreements and exit agreements to my body. So do you have any extra information that I can play with this week around maybe around accessing all the information to change that?
That's a really large can of worms you have there. Have you listened to the? No, let's see. Let me go direct. What's the most direct place to go here? So what came up for me right away while you were talking is what percent, and I'll ask for everybody, what percent of the being taken out is actually occurring? Now, we've been looking at a polarity of manipulation. We've been looking at a polarity. It's not the whole picture, and some of you called that right in the beginning, and it's very true. But I wanted to focus on that because nobody ever looks at it. So, like, let's just really, really hardcore look at that. So what percent of your being taken out or taken up is being done to your advantage? They're like your peeps. And what percent is being done to your disadvantage?
Is that about light when the advantage?
Yeah. Because like as you were talking, I'm like, well, that was good. That was good. That was funky. That was, I don't know what that was. And then it started to get heavy as you were going into the conclusion of the alien manipulation there. And I was like, what is going on with that? And it just, so, and it's not all that way. Like this week, I would say I've been conscious of being taken out 7 times. Body says 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4 were to my advantage. 3 were not to my advantage. And some of them started out to my disadvantage, but I turned them to my advantage. So like the further I go with this, it's like I don't accept anybody's routine anymore. Like, I'm going to use this to my advantage, period. I don't care what race you are. I'm going to use this to my advantage.
Yeah, I had the awareness that when I felt or perceived that the energy had been, I want to say, extracted from me, I just reversed the flow.
Yeah,
and
reclaim it.
That's mine. And by the way, I'm now going to take all of yours.
Yeah, and also, like, I'm going to reclaim all energy ever extracted through that channel or this race. All energy. All of a sudden, all their power systems go down because, like, it just got retroactively pulled from all time, space, dimensions, reality. It's like, oops, sorry, mine. Yeah. Play.
And I'm also aware in the evening I often tend to be way more creative.
Yeah.
And enjoy the space.
Yeah. So I would say for you specifically, and actually I'd say for all of you, like, ask how much of this has been to my advantage, how much has not been to my advantage, and how can I change that now? Like, how can I go back and retroactively change that all to my simple advantage with simple ease?
Cool. I like that.
And how can I reclaim all those energies? Yeah.
Yay!
Cool.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. So let me do just a mop-up, and then we'll do a receiving. So all of the Shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around, all of the energies that we've engaged in this call, all of the energies that you've engaged around George's book, all of the energies that you're going to engage in the future around George's book. I know how this works. I get it. That's fine. And everything that all of that is, can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
I choose.
Yes, I choose that.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, the night beyond. Is that all they go? And all the Mobius strips, quantum particulate, Shikyu implants, trifold sequencing systems. In and around that, and blowing around that, and in and around, and intertangled, intertwined, and blow, and interlocking all of that. Can we choose to destroy and create all of that?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose it.
Yes, rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize, 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 vaporize. And all of the structures, constructs, adaptations, and mutations, not yet. What are all of the entities? What are all of the demons? What are all of the creatures? What are all of the aliens? Freeze, tie up, tie down, freeze, tie up, tie down, freeze all, freeze all, freeze all, tie up, tie down, 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 freeze all, 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 freeze all. Wow. And everything that all of that is, everything you said you would do for these beings, everything any part of you said you would do for these beings, and everything they said they would do for any part of you, can we just try and create all of that?
Yes,
I choose that.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Yes, trying to create vaporize, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, and beyond. Wow. And will you now release all of these entities, demons, creatures, and aliens, and have them permanently removed from your universe?
Yes,
I choose that.
Yes, I choose that.
The Prime Creator, remove all these beings permanently from all of our universes. Do that now. Make null, void, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, beyond. Vaporize, 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 vaporize. Nap time. Vaporize, good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, all night. And all the drugs, alcohol, medication, chemicals. Can we destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Choose that.
Dissipate and release times a gazillion, dissipate, release times a gazillion, dissipate, release times a gazillion, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Dissipate, release times a gazillion, dissipate, release times a gazillion. All drugs, alcohol, medication, chemicals, manipulated energies, dissipate, release times a gazillion, dissipate, release times a gazillion, dissipate, release times a gazillion. Make null, void, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, oxygen, beyond. So how they go. Wow. All the Wernicke's commands, booby traps, divine agreements, golden handcuffs, billion-year agreements, allegiances, alliances, loyalties, assemblies. Wow. All the binds, double binds, triple binds, quadruple binds, binds beyond binds, binds beyond binds, binds beyond binds to infinitum, all the auto-install, auto-reinstall, auto-backup, auto-update systems, technologies, magics. All the entry agreements, exit agreements, and all the signatories. Everything, all that is, can we choose to just try and create all that right here, right now?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes.
Yes, I choose that.
You can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, vaporize, 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 vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, actions, beyond, beyond. So how that go?
Programs?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So call out all the programs. Wow. Yeah. Call out all the programs in, around, or behind, or underneath, or supporting the energy of any of the topics that we've engaged today or that you engaged through George's book. Call all that out in front of you. All those programs. Just call them out in front of you. Nothing behind you, nothing below you, nothing above you, nothing left or right.
I'm hearing grids. Grids.
Cool. And all the grid systems? Wow. And intercessions are the places where things are allowed to happen, like you turn over and allow things to intercede on your behalf. So all the intercessions exterminate.
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 All intercessions exterminate.
And all interconnections and grids exterminate.
Oh, interconnections.
And all intercommunications exterminate.
And all intercommunications
exterminate.
And webs.
Yeah. And webs.
Yeah. And webs.
Yeah.
And all programs terminate.
All
programs
Terminate.
Just let those go. And all programs exterminate.
All programs.
All programs
All programs exterminate.
Okay. And all the energies invested into the coding, whether you coded it or not, reclaim all that? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Bring that all into your body and your being. Receive
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
Wow. And all the energies that were extracted through the process of, or from this coding. Can we reclaim all that?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
exactly.
Bring all that into your body and receive. And all the remaining module, empty module stuff, all the remaining stuff, can we just choose to just try and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create, vaporize, vaporize.
Vaporize.
Vaporize. Good, bad, and pop action, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah. And all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, energy fog around all of this, across all time, space, dimensions, realities, beyonds, and all the structures, constructs, adaptations, and mutations around all that. Whoa. Everything, all that is, can we choose to just try and create all of that?
Yes, I choose that.
Yes. Rescind, revoke, can't reclaim, renounce, denounce. Just trying to create vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond. Let all that go. Let all that go. Not yours. Not yours. Not yours. Not yours. Not yours. Not yours. Matter of fact, let's bring in a UNIVAC.
Do that again.
One more time. Yeah. UNIVAC. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's time for chocolate.
It's chocolate time, kids. All right.
That's the only way I can get through some of these phone calls. Is through chocolate. Yes.
Chocolate chips. Yeah. Saltier chocolate. Yeah.
Chocolate,
So that's one of the things I had to adapt to, not having that, because eating and talking just don't it didn't work so well. But bodies were done. I'm so proud of my body. Thank you, body.
You don't have to eat it to have your body absorb it. So forget it.
There you go. That's probably what I'm doing. I just know I'm doing stuff now that it's easier. And so let's do, yeah, so what is everything? I hear it. Some people screaming in the background saying, let's check what's going to come back. Let's check what's going to come back. Okay. So, allow yourself, thank you for that checkup. Allow yourself to look forward one day in time, see what comes back. And notice how much of that is illusion. Now, I'm noticing that game is up. And so if you notice when you check how much comes back and all of a sudden you get that sinking feeling, that's generally manipulation showing you bullshit that's not true. So be careful now. Like, my explaining things to you, that's one of the reasons I think my interesting point of view at the moment, Gary doesn't explain shit to people, like what's really going on, is because then like people know and then the system knows. Now that's kind of tangly. So everything, all that is, I just try and create a good better proportion of the honest. Anyway, I just noticed that manipulation can also put their foot in there too. So if you get that sinking feeling, if it's heavy, it's a lie. Remember that? So notice what's come back in 1 week. There you go. Or you can ask how much of this is manipulation and how much of this really comes back. There you go. Notice the difference there?
Yeah.
Yep. How much comes back in 1 month? How much comes back in 1 year? How much comes back in 1 decade? Oh man, this is a whole new world we're heading into. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
When we go back and when you go forward a decade, do you feel how different that is? Like, that's integrated different. That's like everybody has that different. That's not just you have that different. Wow. Okay, that's my interesting point of view. But so everything that you perceive that would or could come back or be reinstalled, all the auto install, auto reinstall, auto update, all the auto systems, all the black meta technologies, auto response systems, AI systems, stability and connection points, everything that all that is, can we choose to destroy and create all that?
Yes, I choose that.
Rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, yes. And one last, all the shikyu, stupidity, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, and the energy fog that exists anywhere and everywhere about every topic or conversation or thought you have ever had across all time, space, dimensions, realities, alters, fractures, parallels, dimensions, domains, beyonds, and then some. Named
That
or
about wraps it up.
or unspoken. Everything, all that is, expand out, perceive more. And more. And more. I want it all. You must give it all to me now.
Have it.
Yes, take it. You got it.
And everything, all that is, can we choose to destroy and create it all?
Yes,
I choose that.
Yeah, rescind, revoke, you can't reclaim, renounce, just trying to create vaporize. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, action, beyond,
Wow.
and gone. Wow. Okay. And so let's just go into a space of receiving. And full bandwidth, full spectrum, receive. And you might want to mute yourself too. That would be helpful. If you like. And allow yourself to receive through your earth seed. And allow yourself to receive through your solar system seed. And allow yourself to receive from your galactic seed. And allow yourself to receive from your universal seed. And allow yourself to receive from your infinite being. And allow yourself to receive from water. All the water on the planet. And allow yourself to receive from the consciousness of the planet. The inalienable planet. The authentic planet as you know it to be. And as only you can know it to be. Your personal connection to this planet. Yeah. Wow. And if you want to mute yourself, how was that?
Awesome. Thank you.
Very cool.
That was really good.
Yeah, feeling much better.
Yeah, me too.
We like
Thanks.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Jaden.
Yeah, who's receiving stuff? Awesome stuff.
Yeah. A new toy, a new toy. Yeah.
I like it.
Woohoo. I love it. Wow. So let's do a, I'm not having a lot of energy left, but let's do a 1, 2, 3 wahoo, even if it's a small wahoo. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wahoo!
Wahoo!
Thank you, everybody. This is
Thank you.
Thank you, Jaden. Thank you.
Paul, thank you so much for
Yes, it
participating.
was. Absolutely.
Sharing.
Thank you.
Co-creating.
Thank you.
Co-creating, yeah.
Co-creating, yeah. So
Thanks, Jaden.
you're welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. So aloha and bye.
Aloha.
Till next
Bye.
week. Bye.
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 Bye.